Hello and welcome to Unit 5, the final unit, and we only have 6 topics to cover here, and some of them are pretty quick. And anyway, let's get started right away here. We're going to be doing the guided note-taking for Topic 1 right now, and we're going to start on page 364, Topic 1, A World of Water. And please follow along with your notes and fill in the blanks as we get there. People have seen Earth from space. People who have seen Earth from space marvel at the beauty and majesty of our blue planet. Our water blue Earth, our home, is brimming with vibrant life. Water is the key to that life. More species of organisms inhabit water than any other places on Earth. Equally important, all organisms require water to survive. Scientists believe that life cannot exist unless there is water. Most of the water on Earth, however, is salt water. Salt water is water such as ocean water and seawater that has a high salt content. About 97% of Earth's water is salt water, unfit for us to drink. Instead, we rely on a much smaller supply of fresh water. Fresh water is water such as lake water, river water, pond water, and well water that most organisms can drink or use for life functions. Let's go to page 366. How do you depend on water? Each of the trillions of cells in your body needs water to function. Fortunately, you are never very far from water in one form or another. In fact, 65% of your body mass is water. Water is part of all organisms. An apple is 84% water. If you were a watermelon, about 98% of your body mass would be water. The amount of water in your body is not constant. Every breath you exhale releases gaseous water vapor into the air. Every cellular process uses up a tiny fraction of your body's water. To maintain a normal body temperature of 37 degrees Celsius, you give off water in the form of sweat. You lose water every time you eliminate wastes as well. You must replace the water you lose. To remain healthy, you need about 2.5 liters of water each day. Water is vital for survival. However, you depend on water for more than just basic physical health. Water is vital also to the way of life and the quality of life of everyone in Alberta. We're going to move on now to page 368, to the water cycle. Have you ever gone for a walk in your neighborhood just after a heavy rain? What do you notice? Water drips from leaves and runs along gutters or drainage ditches. There are puddles in parking lots and pastures and footpaths across a plain field. And footpaths across a plain field are muddy. A few hours later, the puddles are gone and sidewalks are dry. What has happened to the water? Each drop of rain that falls must go somewhere. Some runs off the land into streams and rivers, and then pours into the oceans. Some soaks, seeps, and flows underground. Some goes into wetlands and lakes. Some appears to just vanish into the atmosphere. Water is always on the move. The ability of water to disappear and to reappear somewhere else is not magic. It is the result of two common changes of state: evaporation and condensation. The continuous interaction of these two changes produces the water cycle. The water cycle controls the distribution of Earth's water as it evaporates from bodies of water, condenses, precipitates, and returns to those bodies of water. You may recall from previous studies that evaporation is the change of state from a liquid to a gas. Evaporation converts liquid water from Earth's surface into gaseous water vapor. There is always some water vapor in the atmosphere. Condensation is the change of state from a gas to a liquid. Gaseous water vapor remains in the atmosphere until it cools. As it cools, water vapor condenses to form clouds. Liquid and solid water fall from the clouds as precipitation, rain and snow. Page 369 now. The sun's energy drives the water cycle. Each year, about 520,000 cubic kilometers of water from Earth's surface evaporates to form water vapor. Water vapor does not remain in the atmosphere for long, though. Eventually, it condenses and falls to the Earth. On average, there is enough water vapor in the atmosphere for only a 10-day supply of precipitation worldwide. About 78% of Earth's precipitation falls into the oceans. On to page 372, the distribution of water on Earth. In terms of the amount of water on this planet, the water you need to survive is actually in very short supply. As you read earlier, the vast majority of water on Earth, about 97%, is salt water. You cannot drink salt water. Neither can other land-living organisms. You need fresh water to meet your water needs. Barely 3% of all the water on Earth is fresh water. Most water is frozen in large masses of ice. These frozen expanses of water form ice sheets at the North and South poles. And glaciers in high mountaintops. Compressed sheets of snow and ice cover about 10% of Earth's land area and lock up about 3/4 of the planet's fresh water supply in the solid state. On to page 373. This means that little more than 0.5% of Earth's water is found as liquid fresh water. Believe it or not, nearly all of this water occurs below the surface as groundwater. The tiny remainder accounts for all the water on the land surface in rivers, streams, ponds, lakes, and freshwater wetlands. In volume, this tiny remainder, about 270,000 cubic kilometers of fresh water, seems like a large amount. It is. However, it must supply tens of billions of other organisms with the water they need to survive. This includes over 6 billion humans. That number has changed since this textbook was written. We are closer to 7 billion now. Let's move on. The water cycle ensures that this total quantity of Earth's water stays the same. However, the distribution of fresh, usable water varies greatly from one part of the planet to another. So too do our ways of using that water. We take water as well as materials and organisms from oceans, rivers, lakes, and underground. We use these resources for drinking, cooking, eating, washing, farming, manufacturing, and many other activities. Our activities add wastes, pollutants, to Earth's water resources. Water quantity, the amount of water, is only one concern we have for the water we depend on. Water quality, the characteristics of a water resource that make it suitable or unsuitable for various uses. All right, we are on managing our water resources, page 374. Even though we are blessed with so much water, we still need to manage it carefully. Water management involves balancing the water needs of people, industries, wildlife, and the environment with the ability of freshwater systems to remain plentiful and clean. To manage water properly, we need to know how much water we have and where it comes from. We also need to know how water is used and how it can be negatively affected by pollution and overuse. Some people in Canada have jobs that help answer these questions. They gather the information we need to manage water properly to ensure it will be plentiful and safe forever.